Greetings everyone. Today we're going to discuss the first question which was asked by the Codeforces in the latest round 845. So yeah, the question is everybody likes a good array. So let's just read the question. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So let me bring my pen. Okay. So what this question state? Ki an array is a good array if all the pair of adjacent element ai and ai plus 1 are of different parity, and it's given the note that the array of size 1 is trivially good. Okay. And it's given you are given an array n. In one operation you can select the any pair of adjacent element in which the both the elements are of same parity, and delete one and insert their product in the same position. Find the minimum number of operations. Okay, so we are given a test cases of 500 here. Okay, and n is equal to 100. So it's basically very small inputs. So we need not to worry about the input things, right? So let's just look at the sample test cases and then proceed to the answer. It's given the 1, 7, 11, 2 and 13. So it's mentioning that 7 and 11 are having the same parity. So it will take these two elements 7 and 11 and club them together, right? It's taking their product as it mentioned in one operation. You will select the any two elements which are adjacent and having the same parity, and you will dissolve these two elements into the one element by taking their product, right? The 7 and 11, they took this two element and insert their product in the place of these two elements, right? 77. Now still the 77 and 1 are adjacent element and having the same parity, so again we have to dissolve them into the one. So the same thing is done here. It just took the 7, 1 and 77 and just dissolve it into the one, and our array will become 77, 2 and 13. So it's our final array. Why? The adjacent element are having the different parity, like 77 is even odd, sorry, and 2 is even, so it's a different parity, and 2 and 13 are adjacent and having a different parity. So it's our valid answer, and number of steps we required, it's 3. Sorry. So yeah, and it's another test case. Let me took you to the whiteboard and discuss the solution, right? So yeah, suppose we have 11. Uh, let's just took the sample test case which are provided by the Codeforces itself, right? It is 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, and 3. Okay, so we have to make them a good array. So basically, what we have to do, we have to do such that there is no two consecutive element which is having the same parity, right? This is all we need to do. So what we can do, I'm suggesting a solution. Okay, so just pay attention that I will start from the first indexing and I will look that if this index, my current indexing and my previous indexing are having the same parity, means what? I have to condense these two elements into the one element, right? So we have to find the minimum number of steps. Okay, so we will count. So what we will do, basically we will look into our array if our current indexing and our previous indexing having the elements are respective indexing having numbers which are having the same parity, then we will count those elements. And why we will count those elements? Because we are condensing them into the one number. Okay, so uh, yeah, so what we will do here, we will start from the we will start from the I is equal to 1 and move till the array. So I at I is equal to 1. So here the I, so this element and this element having the same parity, so we have to condense them into the one. So we will condense them into the one. So it will be 1, 1, 2, 2 and 3. Now what we will do, we will move here and we will again see this element and this element having the same parity. So again we will condense them into the one. So now it will come 1, 2, 2, 3. So we have till now we have took how many steps? First step here, second step here. The count is equal to 2. The number of steps we have performed is 2. Now I will be here, our I will be here, and we will see these two elements are having a different parity. So it's already a good configuration, and we need not to do anything. We will move forward. We will look at this element and this element having the same parity as both of them are even, right? So we have to condense them. So again, we will condense them. So our array will look like something like this, and we will here. And what these two elements are having the different parity, so it's already in good configuration, and we need not to do anything, and we will finish our iteration, right? So how many we did? We did one transformation here, one here, and one here. Yeah, and we have done three transformations, right? Let me check. Yeah. So what we can do? So the basic idea is, as have done the diagram, so I think you all might get it. It's not that hard. That we will start from the first indexing, and we will just run in iterate through the array. And whenever we get our current indexing and previous indexing as the same parity, right? If the my current indexing is odd and previous indexing is odd, or my current indexing even and previous indexing is also even, then we will just store the count of those events, right? We will store the count of those events into a variable. Let's say it's a count, and we will just increment the value whenever we meet the condition such that my current parity and my previous parity was same. Because if this condition encountered, means we have to condense them, and to condense them we are performing on one operation, right? So it's a pretty much straightforward question. So let's just go through a code for better understanding, right? So what I have done, it's uh, I have declared the answer as equal to 0. My final answer, whatever will be my final answer will be, okay. It's n. It's n basically what the number of inputs is. The n is okay. I have created an array of size n, and what basically this is, it's just a simple for loop. Okay, we can also write this as for it's a simple for loop, right? It's a basically simple for loop. I am running a simple for loop and taking the inputs, nothing fancy. Okay, it's a simple for loop, so don't get confused. And it's also a simple for loop. It's also a simple for loop. Basically, you can also write this something like this: 1 2 I less than n I plus plus. It's basically simply it's the same thing, right? I just declared a template in my code, so but that's why I'm using this. So it's a simple for loop. So I'm iterating throughout the array, and whenever I meet the condition that my current indexing, like ith indexing, my current indexing, and my previous indexing, if they are both having the same parity, that means what? I have to condense them, and to condense them, I have to perform one operation. So I will store the count of those events when my current parity, the parity of my basically my current element and parity of the previous element are same. So I will store the count of those events, and yeah, this is pretty much what I have to did and what I have explained earlier. And we will just give the print this number into our terminal, and we'll get the answer, right? So this was very much the answer of this question. Hope you understand this, and if you have any doubts or query, then feel free to ask. Okay, thank you, and have a wonderful coding journey.